Dragan Bender was one of the more disappointing rookies of the 2016 draft class. Drafted at number 4, Phoenix fans would have had high hopes after the immense success of Kristaps Porzingis the year before. However, Bender struggled to get time on the court as he appeared to have problems adjusting to the NBA offense. But fear not, Phoenix fans, this video is here to tell you that hope is not lost. The big man from Croatia showed a few things in his rookie year, showed a few more in Summer League and the start of this season, and has enormous potential for this young Suns team. The first thing to discuss with Dragan Bender is his defense. It was surprisingly good in his few minutes last season and has looked very, very good so far this year. For a guy who is 7 foot tall, he moves exceptionally quickly laterally, allowing him to cover the pick and roll really well as help in the paint and quickly recover to the 3-point line. There aren't too many flashy highlights that can demonstrate this, but by watching the Phoenix Suns when he is on the court, you can see it. His instincts are phenomenal, and it is pretty rare that he gets caught out of position, but when he does, he has the insane length and speed to recover and at least contest the shot. It isn't all there yet on the defensive end, and he has some work to do on strengthening up so that he doesn't get bodied in the paint, but this appears to be happening less and less this season. In a few years, Bender projects to be the defensive centerpiece of this Suns team, and with Josh Jackson guarding wings, they could be a really good defensive team if they put the pieces together. Devin Booker will need to improve dramatically on the defensive end in order to facilitate this, but having Bender in the middle is a great safety net for when the scoring wizard makes a defensive error. On the offensive end, Bender has all the tools to be a complete, versatile player who can score in a variety of ways. But firstly, I wanted to talk about his ability to handle and pass the ball for a guy of his size. His handles are absolutely amazing for a guy that is that tall, and he's shown flashes of the ability to pass the ball to cutters and people open for threes. These skills aren't as useful when Dragan isn't scoring and forcing defenders to close out rapidly, but if and when Bender puts the rest of his game together, it will make him incredibly versatile and able to handle double teams exceptionally well. Before the draft, Dragan Bender had all the offensive skills. He looked to be able to drill 3-pointers, hit the mid-range shot, use a variety of post moves, and was adept at hitting awkward little leaners off of the glass. But in his first season with the Suns, he really struggled to assert himself on the offensive end. He wasn't taking shots when he likely should have been, didn't drive or post up too frequently, and overall looked a little bit timid. This could have been for a huge variety of reasons. A lot of rookies struggle in their first year. Just look at the huge struggles Dirk Nowitzki had in his first season, followed by a great season afterwards and a phenomenal career after that. It also could have had to do with Earl Watson just having absolutely no idea what he was doing in terms of coaching the offense, and not implementing any offensive sets that worked well for Bender. But some of it does come down to the Dragan, who struggled mightily in his first year. But in the preseason and Summer League, especially the Summer League, he reminded everyone of the kind of player he can be on the offensive end. Draining threes, taking defenders off the dribble, shooting contested mid-range jump shots, and hitting runner floaters from all kinds of weird body positions that result in a lot of foul calls as well. In his limited minutes this season, he has managed to turn this around in the early parts of the season as well. And one thing I am loving is the aggressiveness he is displaying on the offensive end. Dragan is shooting threes when he gets given space, and is driving when the closeout comes. But unlike last season, he is making these decisions quickly, and not allowing himself to get stuck between the two possibilities. This simple confidence seems to have been instilled into him by Earl Watson before the season, who told the media he wanted Bender to be overly aggressive, the most aggressive version of himself possible on the offensive end. And whilst I don't agree with a lot of Watson's decisions and coaching styles, this is one of those decisions I really like. Bender is at his best when he is being aggressive and attacking defenses, and using his enormous size, reach, and shooting ability to create mismatches and score points. Going forward is where Bender has the most value. He isn't going to dominate the league this season, but maybe even next year he could begin to have a significant impact on this Suns team. If he continues to work on his shooting, conditioning, strength, and the ability to finish at the rim, he could turn to the perfect center for a team that wants to push the pace. Phoenix Suns fans would just have to be patient, as Bender is huge, lanky, and a little bit awkward at times, and seems to be taking a little bit longer to adjust to the NBA than some other players. But if the development time is put in, he could be an absolutely fantastic piece for an NBA team. On top of this, he projects as a fantastic pick and roll partner for Devin Booker. Having a great big man who can roll to the rim is fantastic for guards, as it helps prevent defenses from overloading onto them on the pick and roll. but having a big man who can also threaten to fade out to the three-point line is even better for creating space in the pick and roll. When you do this, teams can't have their big man sag in the paint. They have to either try and switch or try and chase both players around the screen. If Bender develops his post game more, then either one of these options would be fantastic. If they switch, Bender can take the guard down into the post for an easy score, or Booker can take the big man off of the dribble and try and get to the rim. But if they don't switch and try to chase both players, they'll likely fail or have to have a third defender come over and help. When this happens, Booker and Bender must learn to find out the open man for an easy three. All of these scenarios are potentials, and they're not guaranteed. But you can see why Phoenix Suns fans were excited before the season and their horrific 0-3 start. They have a lot of young talent on their roster and should be in a situation where they can build a solid team in the next few years. I cannot state how glad I am that they fired Earl Watson. He might be ready to be a coach in 10 years, but for now he simply does not have a system to implement or know how to implement one. In the past 5 games since Earl Watson's firing, the Suns have looked significantly better under Jay Triano, actually running some kind of offense, and have looked to be locked in significantly more on defense. Even Devin Booker, who has been a very bad defender in his first 2 years, has been putting in a lot more effort on that end. I don't think that they'll keep that 4-1 start up. I think they'll probably win around 40 games in total this season and score a lot of points, and continue to concede a lot of points as well. But it is in the coming seasons that Suns fans should be excited for. Bender, Booker, and Dragan Bender is a great young core to build around. And then let's not forget about TJ Warren, who just dropped 40 points in a road win against the Washington Wizards. There is a lot of talent on this roster, and Marquise Chris as well, who showed a lot in his rookie year on the offensive end, but is such a defensive liability that he probably projects as a great bench piece if he cannot pick up his defensive habits. But I think that Booker, Jackson, Warren, and Bender should all aim to be starting together at the end of this season. This is the Phoenix Suns core, and the minutes need to be pumped into them together. The Bledsoe situation is incredibly unfortunate and does show that some things need to be fixed up in the Suns front office, but they must try and get some value back in a trade for him. And then, the job will be to find a point guard for the future. Ideally someone who isn't a defensive liability and is pass first, as the Suns already have a ton of firepower in their young lineup. If they can, I have high hopes for this fast-paced Suns team, and think it is a great situation for Bender to continue to develop and get minutes. Things could definitely go downhill, and there is still the chance that Bender never manages to figure out how to put all of his tools together on the court. But let's hope this doesn't happen. I love seeing players succeed, and the league seems to have more and more young talented players than ever before. Let's just hope the trend continues with Dragan Bender and the Phoenix Suns. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more NBA videos in the future, and comment below on your thoughts on the Suns and Dragan Bender.